It's a weekday morning. Your alarm goes off earlier than you'd like. You don't jump out of bed. You don't snooze either. You just lie there. Your phone is already in your hand. A few unread messages. An email draft you never sent. A reminder about a payment due soon. You open your bank app, not because you expect good news, but because you are checking whether anything has changed. It hasn't. You close the app quickly, like it might notice you looking. You've been working, you've been trying, you've been doing what you were told would work. And yet, the quiet question you never say out loud shows up again. Why does it feel like I'm pushing so hard and nothing is moving? Before we go any further, let me pause here for a second. If you care about building long-term freedom, financially and personally, and you're tired of loud advice, shortcuts, and motivation that fades by tomorrow, this channel is built for you. So subscribe, not because you'll get instant answers, but because every video here is designed to help you think more clearly, make better decisions, and build momentum that compounds. Nothing here is about guarantees. It's about alignment between effort and results. Now let's come back to that question. Most people think the answer is more effort, or more discipline, or one big breakthrough idea. What actually needs to change is far less dramatic and far more uncomfortable. People who eventually build real wealth don't do extraordinary things. They do ordinary things in a very specific order for a very long time. Most people only learn this after years of exhaustion. I learned it late too. This isn't motivation. It isn't hustle. It's a system. 7 habits. Clear sequence. And if you stay with me to the end, that heavy feeling from this morning will finally make sense. Number 1. Talk to strangers intentionally. Think about how many people you pass every single day. In line for coffee, in an elevator, at a shared workspace, in a waiting room. You're surrounded by humans and completely disconnected from them. Everyone polite, everyone invisible. You order, you pay, you leave. Nothing changes. Now imagine this. Same place, same routine, same people. But instead of rushing, you pause for half a second longer than normal. You ask a question that serves no purpose. How long have you been coming here? Is it always this busy in the mornings? It feels awkward. Your brain immediately asks, why did I say that? The conversation lasts maybe 20 seconds. It feels insignificant. That's exactly why it works. The next time you show up, the person nods. The time after that, they smile. Eventually, they ask you a question. Weeks later, you casually mention what you're working on. They don't help you right away, but months later, when timing aligns, your name comes up. Not because you tried to impress, but because you are familiar. Here's the part people don't want to accept. Effort feels heavy when nobody can see it. Wealth doesn't come from being talented in isolation. It comes from being visible without being desperate. Cold connections disappear the moment you need them. Warm ones quietly open doors when you least expect it. If no new conversations enter your life, no new opportunities can either. But even if the right people start noticing you, none of it matters if your energy dies halfway through the day. Number 2. Manage energy, not time. You sit down to work. Your inbox is full. Your task list is long. You start with the easy stuff because it feels good to check things off. Emails answered, messages replied to, small tasks cleared. By early afternoon, you feel tired, but satisfied. You've been productive. And yet, the one task you've been avoiding all week, the one that could actually change your income, your leverage, your future, still untouched. Not because you don't know what to do, because it requires focus. And focus costs energy. One morning, you do something that feels wrong. You open your laptop and ignore everything else. No email, no messages, no scrolling. You start with the hardest thing. Your brain resists. Your body feels heavy. Every instinct tells you to stop, but you push through for 40 minutes. When it's done, something strange happens. The rest of the day feels easier, lighter, almost optional. Effort feels heavy when it's scattered. Millionaires don't magically have more time than you. They decide where their best energy goes before the world makes demands. A calendar isn't about discipline, it's about honesty. If something isn't scheduled, it doesn't exist. Energy spent on the wrong task costs more than time wasted. Once your energy is protected, what you put into your mind starts to matter more than ever. Number 3, feed the mind with precision. There is a book on your desk or an article saved on your phone. You read at night when you're tired. The ideas sound good. You underline a few lines. You feel like you're improving. The next day, nothing changes. Another book, same cycle. Then one morning, before checking anything else, you read just a few pages. One idea hits differently. Instead of finishing the chapter, you try it immediately. You adjust something small. You say something differently. You change one habit. The book stays unfinished, but the problem it was meant to solve disappears. Effort feels heavy when learning never turns into action. Reading isn't about consuming information. It's about extracting leverage. 10 pages that change behavior quietly outperform hundreds that never leave your head. Information only becomes valuable once it alters how you act. But even the best information won't help if you never question it. Number 4, become uncomfortably curious. You're in a meeting, or on a call, or listening to someone explain how things are normally done. Everyone nods. You feel a question forming and almost stop yourself. You don't want to sound slow, or difficult, or naive, but you ask it anyway. Why are you doing it this way? What happens if we don't? The room goes quiet. Not because the question is bad, but because no one asked it before. Effort feels heavy when you're solving the wrong problem. Curiosity exposes constraints. Constraints reveal leverage. Why did this customer leave? Why does this task drain me? Why does this situation keep repeating? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your decisions. Once reality becomes visible, ego has to move aside. And that's where feedback becomes unavoidable. Number 5, ask for feedback from the right sources. You try something new, a service, a side project, an idea you've been carrying quietly. You show it to friends. They smile. They say it looks good. They encourage you. Nothing sells. Instead of defending it, you do something uncomfortable. You ask a few people who would have paid one honest question. What made you hesitate? The answers sting. They're specific. They're accurate. They hurt a little. You change the thing. Suddenly, interest appears where silence was. Effort feels heavy when feedback comes too late. Money runs out. Feedback multiplies, but only when it comes from people whose opinions have consequences. Spectators protect feelings. Customers protect truth. Assume you're wrong early, not to lose confidence, but to save time. Once feedback starts working, numbers matter. Number 6, measure what you want to grow. You start paying closer attention. Income, expenses, energy levels. Nothing fancy, just observation. Patterns show up quickly. You see what quietly works. You see what quietly drains you. Effort feels heavy when progress is invisible. Measurement doesn't create pressure. It creates clarity. What gets tracked improves. What gets ignored fades. Specific measurement turns intention into feedback. But even with clarity, most people still hesitate at the final step. Number 7, default to action. There is something you've been postponing, a message, an application, a decision you keep replaying in your head. Waiting feels responsible, careful, smart, until weeks pass. One day, you stop waiting. You take a small step, not confident, just willing. Then another. Momentum builds. Not because fear disappears, but because movement begins. Effort feels heavy before motion starts. Wealth doesn't reward perfect decisions. It rewards decisive ones. Action clarifies. Motion teaches. Courage isn't confidence. It's movement while unsure. Most breakthroughs happen after imperfect action, not before it. And now the question from this morning finally has an answer. Effort felt heavy because it wasn't compounding. It was scattered, invisible, out of order. People who build wealth don't push harder. They sequence better. They speak sooner. They protect energy. They learn selectively. They question deeply. They validate early. They measure honestly. And they move even when unsure. This path doesn't feel exciting at first. It feels calm. And that calm is the signal that effort has stopped leaking and started compounding.